Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now March 30th of 2024, and given that all divisions over at the Walt Disney Company are showing no signs of improvement, especially with Marvel Studios, given that of course 2024 may be the exception with Deadpool 3, depending on what happens with that third act drama situation, but looking ahead, the 2025 year is full of expensive failures. With the current Marvel slate, the way things are going right now, it's not looking good for Captain America 4, for starters, in February of 2025, just to really start off that new year. Now, to top all this, we know that Bob Iger has been entering damage control at a very desperate pace right now. He's basically been up with the board of directors and creating a very big shakeup over there, and it's a very big mess over at the Walt Disney Company, to say the least. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Bob Iger that I think is absolutely, very direct right now is the fact that he has been openly, very vocal about his stand with the Disney Company, with everything related to the box office failures and how that really has been frustrating him as a CEO. We already know that in the very beginning stages, he was denying the box office failures and the disasters throughout 2023. It took multiple months for him to finally admit that Marvel and just Disney in general was not working with their films. Now, at the top of all of that, what's interesting about this moving onwards has a lot to do with Bob Iger confirming everything to do with the current financial situation over at all of the divisions of the Walt Disney Company and what's really happening for this year, 2025, and beyond into 2026. Now, with Bob Iger wreaking havoc toward all divisions of the Walt Disney Company, one major development has much to do with the current financial situation, as addressed by Bob Iger for all divisions related to the Walt Disney Company. Iger recently went on to deliver the following. As CEO, I couldn't be more proud to announce a successful merger between our Disney Plus service and our Hulu service. However, as we look toward the next couple of years, we found it was a necessity to make some much needed changes and alterations to our products, parks, and services. With two of our most recognized divisions here at the Walt Disney Company, we are proud to announce that our cost containment plan will be coming full circle, with all projects related to the Star Wars brand and to the Marvel brand as well, in order to create more small-scale projects for live action and animated form. We look forward to spending less and making less with our films and television programs. This will include a significant cutback with both our production budgets and our marketing costs for upcoming films. Such films that will receive this treatment, for example, will be related to projects such as Snow White, Captain America 4, and Blade, along with our new Star Wars film that we hope to release by 2026, all of which will either hold significant cutbacks budgeting-wise, and that's only the beginning for our cost-cutting measures here at the Walt Disney Company. With our popular streaming service Disney Plus, we are also looking forward to increasing rates for all plans connected to this service, while we aim to remove content such as films and television programs that received lower engagement statistics. We have a powerful team of analysts here at the Disney Company that are researching all of this carefully as we aim to prevent other miscalculations with our box office projections for films and ratings for our TV programs. As per our cost containment plan, I would also like to announce that we felt it was also absolutely necessary to engage in significant cutbacks and cancellations of films related to both Star Wars and Marvel brands, as we aim to restructure smaller scale formats instead of productions that would demand multiple location settings for principal photography for our creators. So guys, basically what he's saying is that they want to really shoot more in studio than on actual location shots. Moving on. He goes on to continue, smaller scale projects is our focus right now to create a pattern over the next couple of years, to create a contrast to where we are now, to witness what works and what doesn't on our end for our Star Wars and Marvel projects, as well as our Disney live action remakes. As per that, for our Disney live-action remakes, we are also looking to cancel numerous iterations of those on our current film slate and/or starting from scratch to also make those into smaller-scale films that would demand less production budgets on our end. Guys, let me stop here quick. Could that very well be why we have not heard a peep out of Disney revolving around the sword and the stone? That really has not been budging at all, and really not moving in the production cycle one bit, and I think it may very well be on the cancellation schedule. Alright, we'll talk more about that later in the week once we learn more about that whole film slate alteration that's happening right now over at Disney. Now, you guys may know that ever since the Disney president that handled all of the motion pictures, everything live action, when he got fired and he's getting replaced, that was a move by Bob Iger. They want to restructure who's working at Disney, who's calling the shots over there, what kind of content's coming out. And smaller scale movies and TV shows, I don't think that's a great move. I think that's only going to spell a recipe for disaster further for Disney. Basically, a lot of movies are going to feel and look cheaper. They're going to come across as quickly developed. And that's kind of how I feel what happens with a lot of the things that are related to the Star Wars TV shows. A lot of them are all shot within a studio where the actors are just on a stage looking at a screen, and you can tell many times, alright, it just looks very cheap. There's multiple shots in the Acolyte, in the Kenobi series, where you can tell that they are just looking at a flat-out screen on a soundstage. That's what it looks like. But moving on, alright, he goes on to conclude, apart from what Iger, of course, you know, had to also say here, by the way, before I move on, is the fact that he really is doubling down on their usage of cutting back marketing costs and budgeting costs. Now, apart from what Iger delivered here, of course, this also alludes to how Disney is going to also begin to hire less stardom power in order to save their spending habits with their projects. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. By 2025, a trend of hiring strict unknowns will be the focus via both Bob Iger and other directors and writers for many Star Wars projects moving onwards. Now, in addition to that, Iger is also planning to greenlight 2 rate hikes when it comes to Disney Plus this year for that actual platform, and 1 for the end of 2025. Now, obviously, we're not quite sure if that's going to fly. I think a lot of people are going to run away from the service once they begin to see those rates going up and content getting basically removed, whether it's on Hulu, whether it's on the Disney Plus, you know, part of that. That's now all one, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but Hulu and Disney Plus are now treated as one, so to speak. Alright, that's what he was talking about, that merger. I really am just shocked that he is doubling down on this cost containment plan, these cost-cutting measures. It could not be any more clear that they do not want to spend more money on these big budget films anymore, because they've lost their confidence after what happened throughout 2023. That's basically what's going on right now, guys, is that Bob Iger is confirming that the financial situation over at Disney when it comes to their films and when it comes to their TV shows, just their flat-out entertainment, digitally speaking, and of course, when you go to the movie theaters as well, it's just not working. So overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.